Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. I am in the kitchen because I have some tea on the kettle boiling and I wanted to switch it up, going from room to room. And Zababa got her toys everywhere, having fun. So I must go where it'll be the most quiet. Now, we're in the book of Tayammum, and I wanted to continue upon that path, going in order from beginning to end, volume 1 to all the other volumes. Systematically reading it in order really helps, and I find it really useful for memorization. Okay. Bismillah. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I have been given 5 things which were not given to anyone else before me. 1. Let's see. Allah made me victorious by awe, by his frightening my enemies, for a distance of 1 month's journey. 2. The earth has been made for me, and for my followers a place for offering salah prayer, and a thing to purify, perform tayammum. Therefore any one of my followers can offer salah wherever he is at the time of salah. Okay, can offer salah wherever you are. Now, using clean soil. I'm sorry, I got a coffee bag here. Get it out of the way. My elbow gonna spill my coffee. Oh, and it smells good. When we are unable to find water, tayammum is a mercy for us to do what do. It feels very spiritual as well to be able to use the earth. I want to at least do that one time when I'm hiking or something. 3. The booty has been made halal lawful to me, yet it was not lawful to anyone else before me. 4. I have been given the right of intercession on the day of resurrection. 5. Every prophet used to be sent to his nation, but I have been sent to all mankind. Okay, so I feel like that is something we need to memorize. Is people might ask, well, what's the difference between the final prophet and the others? We can say, well, they were sent to their nations, but the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was sent to all mankind. I've had people tell me, why should I be part of a religion that's Middle Eastern, just for Arabs only? And things like that hadith can really come in handy. 336. Narrated Urwa's father, Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, I borrowed a necklace from Asma and it was lost. So Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, sent a man to search for it, and he found it. Then the time of the salah prayer became due, and there was no water. They offered salah without ablution, and informed Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, about it. So the verse of Tayammum was revealed. Usayd bin Hudayr said to Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, may Allah reward you. By Allah, whenever anything happened which you did not like, Allah brought good for you and for the Muslims in that. Chapter 3? The performance of tayammum by a non-traveler is permissible when water is not available and when one is afraid that the time of salah prayer may elapse. Atas supported that opinion. Al-Hasan says, if a patient has water, but there is no one to hand it over to him, then he can perform tayammum. Ibn Umar came from his land at Al-Jaruf at the time for the Asr prayer became due, while he was at Bana Annam, sheepfold. So he performed tayammum and offered salah prayer, and then entered Al-Madinah when the sun was still high, but he did not repeat that salah. Okay, so what do we see here? If you don't have water, you don't want to miss your prayer, but you're not traveling, you're still able to go ahead and do that. Narrated Abu Juhaym al-Ansari, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, came from the direction of Bir Jamal. A man met him and greeted him, but he did not return back the greeting till he went to a mud wall, and rubbed his hands and his face with dust, performed tayammum, and then returned back the greeting. Interesting. He was very focused, determined. Sometimes, I guess from that reading, if I recall, if someone is really focused and wants to finish the task they were doing, just wait for them to give you salam when they're ready, when they're able. You don't have to stop what you're doing to say the salam back, but if you want to, that can, I guess. Chapter 4. Can a person blow off the dust from his hands in performing tayammum before passing them over his face? 338. Narrated Abdul Rahman bin Abza. A man came to Umar bin al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, and said, I became junub, but no water was available. Ammar bin Yasir said to Umar, do you remember that you and I became junub while both of us were together on a journey, and you didn't offer salah prayer, but I rolled myself on the ground and offered salah? I informed the Prophet, peace be upon him, about it, and he said, it would have been sufficient for you to do like this. The Prophet, peace be upon him, then stroked lightly the earth with his hands, and then blew off the dust, and passed his hands over his face and hands. Tayammum is for the hands and the face. Narrated Sa'id bin Abdul Rahman bin Abza, on the authority of his father, who said, Ammar said so, the above statement, and Shuba stroked lightly the earth with his hands and brought them close to his mouth, blew off the dust and passed them over his face and then the back of his hands. Ammar said, ablution, meaning tayammum here, is sufficient for a Muslim if water is not available. Narrated Abdur Rahman bin Abza that while he was on the company of Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, Ammar, may Allah be pleased with him, said to Umar, we were in a detachment and became junub, and I blew the dust off my hands, performed the rolling over the earth, and offered salah prayer. Narrated Abdur Rahman bin Abza, Ammar, may Allah be pleased with him, said to Umar, may Allah be pleased with him as well, I rolled myself in the dust and came to the Prophet, peace be upon him, who said, passing dusted hands over the face and the backs of the hands was sufficient for you. Okay. Narrated Ammar, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, stroked the earth with his hands, and then passed them over his face and the back of his hands, while demonstrating tayammum. Chapter 7. A junub can perform tayammum if he is afraid of disease, death, or thirst. It is said that once Amr bin al-As became junub in the very cold night, he performed tayammum and recited the following verse from the Quran, and do not kill yourself nor kill one another. Surely Allah is most merciful to you. Verse 429. When that was reported to the Prophet, peace be upon him, he did not object to it. It's very cold. You gotta keep yourself warm and dry. Narrated Abu Wa'il, Abu Musa said to Abdullah bin Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, if one does not find water for ablution, can he give up the prayer? Abdullah replied, If you give the permission to perform tayammum, they will perform tayammum even if water was available, if one of them found it cold. Abu Musa said, "What about the statement of Ammar to Umar?" Abdullah replied, "Umar was not satisfied by this statement." Narrated Shaqiq bin Salama, I was with Abdullah and Abu Musa. The latter asked the former, "O Abdul Rahman, what is your opinion if somebody becomes junub and no water is available?" Abdullah replied, "Do not offer salah prayer till water is found." Abu Musa said, "What do you say about the statement of Ammar, who was ordered by the Prophet, peace be upon him, to perform tayammum?" The Prophet, peace be upon him, said to him, "Perform tayammum, and that would be sufficient." Abdullah replied, "Don't you see that Umar was not satisfied with Ammar's statement?" Abu Musa said, "All right, leave Ammar's statement, but what will you say about this verse of tayammum?" Abdullah kept quiet and then said, "If we allowed it, then they would probably perform tayammum even if water was available, if one of them found it water cold." The narrator added, I said to Shaqiq, "Then did Abdullah dislike to perform tayammum because of this?" He replied, "Yes." Well, that's interesting. Even if water was available, somebody would want to do it with dirt. It's kind of gross in a way. If you got water, I don't know. Some people get their own preferences, it seems. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I did as well. Man, I love reading Hadith so much. Feels good to get back on the pattern again. Being able to bust out more videos. Been doing more reading off the channel. And just hanging out and reading more books on my own. But it's also nice to have these uploaded here for you as well. By the way, if you'd like to join my blog, it's www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive. Hope to see you there. And my tea is ready. The water's boiling. Gotta go.